gives them the go when they come out of that fourth turn. In the first turn, and a rookie going the way in the 25. Raymond Hayes in the 14. In the 44, Bobby Miller working it now. Bobby just to the inside with the 23. They're going into the back straight 3 wide. John Winston into the infield and back onto the track. Out of that third turn, and it's still Doug Murphy. And it's still Doug Murphy, Raymond Reed, Mike Hamilton in the 97, Edler in the 44, David Sandel in the 96 machine. That first turn is a halfway mark, and still showing the way is Doug Murphy in that red hot number 25. Raymond Reed in the 14. Mike Hamilton in the 97. In the 96, and David Sandel moving up is John Lynch in the 18. Coming out of that fourth turn, and it's still Doug Murphy in the 25, Raymond Reed in the 14. Still holding third is Mike Hamilton in the 97, David Sandel in the 96, John Lynch in the 18, and Ed Lloyd in the 44. 3 laps to go. And it's still Doug Murphy showing the way in that number 25. Raymond Reed moving up in that number 14. There's your white flag, 1 lap to go for Doug Murphy in the number 25. This, ladies and gentlemen, will be for the checkered flag. Coming into that third turn, and it's still Doug Murphy. Here's your checkered flag for Doug Murphy in the 25. Raymond 27. And with that very narrow lead, and it's John Moses in the 75, Bill Moses in second with the 15, Jack Cook moving up with that number 1. Eddie Puffin second. Now Jack Cook tries the inside on Bill Moses and gives us the door, and Jack tries it again and gets over second in the number 1. And it's John Moses, Jack Cook, Bill Moses, Eddie Puffin there. John Butler in the 34 and Jim Padden in the number 2. Coming into that fourth turn and still holding on to that narrow lead. In the number 75, Jack Cook in the number 1. Bill Moses in the number 15. Eddie Puffinberger in the 14. John Butler in the 34 at the halfway mark. And it's still John Moses getting the way in that number 75. Jack Cook in the number 1, Bill Moses in the 15, Eddie Puffinberger in the 47, John Buckland in the 34. Once again, coming out of that fourth turn and still holding on in the lead. It's John Moses in the 57th machine. Jack Cook in the number 1. Bill Moses looking for a way around in that car number 15. Eddie Puffinberger in the 47th. John Buckland in the 34. And now rightly lead just a bit. It's John Moses in the 57th. Jack Cook in the number 1, Bill Moses in the 15. There's your white flag for John Moses in the 75. Jack Cook in the number 1, Bill Moses in the 15. Eddie Puffinberg in the 47, John Buckland. This is for the second flag, ladies and gentlemen. And John Moses, Jack Cook, Bill Moses, Eddie Puffinberger. John Buckland.
Wait, where is that?
Took, I believe, 3 seconds last week. And it's not good to see this automobile back. That is young Bill Moses right here in Wentworth in the number 50. And with a brand new paint job and a lot of work. That is Andy Carlson in the 22 automobile. That number 22 has always been white, and Andy has changed the color scheme to a real beautiful red. Andy comes to us from Hebron, New Hampshire. This is the third qualifying, and Wayne can drop that green at any time. Wayne gives him the green, and they're out of that fourth turn. And the 20 white, Royal Moses in the 57. Working out outside is Dan Goodell in third place with a number 7. Steve Corbell in the 56. Good and Big Boston. Bill Murphy. Andy Carlson in the 22. Into that third turn, and it's still Bob Richardson 21. Royal Moses in the 57. Dan Goodell number 7. Corbell in the 56, Butch Thompson in the 01, Bill Moses in the number 50, and Steve Corbell goes a little wide, and now Bill goes to the outside, and Bill and Bush over the door, in the back stretch, and Bill Bob Richardson 21, Royal Moses in the 57, Dan Duval in the number 7, Steve Corbell in the 56, Butch Thompson in the 01, Andy Carlson in the number 22, and Bill Moses, I believe, he's still moving in the number 50. That's a halfway mark, and it's Bob Richardson, number 21. Royal Moses in the 57, Dan Duval in the number 7, Steve Corbell in the 56, Butch Thompson in the 01. That third turn, and it's still Bob Richardson, 21, going the way. Royal Moses in the 57, and now this tries the inside groove on Steve Corbell, but Steve shuts the door for fourth place. And Andy Carlson is just, I believe, on a video on the next screen. And it's Bob Richardson in the 21, Royal Moses in the 57, Dan Duval in the 7, Steve Corbell in the 56, Butch Thompson tries the inside groove once again with the 01. Here's your white flag, 1 lap to go. And it's still Bob Richardson going away in that number 21. Royal Moses in the 57. This is for the Jim Warrior been down and doing this a lot of years. There's always moving the the number 2, John came down in the number 18, and Jim Fast in first, Bush Paulson in second, Bush goes in the inside, and then John Wick in the 18, John Buckland third in the number 34 automobile, Jim Fast in the number 2. Johnson in the 01, John Lynch in the 18, John Buckland in the 34, and Jim Madden goes into the wall, runs the number 34. And now watch Wayne, he gives him that green flag there out of that fourth turn. And John Lynch in the number 18, and now John goes to the inside of Bush in the number 18. And they're out of that fourth turn, and John Lynch, Bush Paulson in the 01, John Buckland in the 34. Coming into that fourth turn, and it's still John Lynch, Bush Paulson, and John Buckland in the 34. Fourth turn, and it's still John Lynch, on the way to number 19, Bush Paulson in the third one. This is your first consolation event in the late model sportsman, ladies and gentlemen, with Jason Welch showing the way with his brand new automobile, a rookie driver. Billy Schott, another rookie driver on the outside in the number 3. There's a green flag, and they're into that stretch. That first turn, and it's Jason Welch in the 43, Billy Schott in the number 3 going wide, moving up on underneath. And that's Dick Gilpatrick in the 06, and Billy Schott Big packet come together. Billy tried to come down too quick. The caution flag is out. The caution flag is out, so eliminates them from driving at the speedway. So any driver in any class here at the Norway Pines Speedway will be driving with a valid driver's license. And some people have asked me this, and this is the way it is now. And I know in Bradford, the Barry Speedway, there's your green flag, and we're underway with Jason in the 43, leading the way, Bob Gilpatrick in the 06. And we're certainly losing a lot of cars tonight due to this heat, ladies and gentlemen. Area 4 turn, and it's Jason Welch in the 43. Fourth, and it's still Jason working that outside gate now and throwing Bob Gilpatrick in the 06. Bob is an old campaigner here at the Norway Pines Speedway, and we hear Bob is building a new car, and Bob takes over first in the 06. Jason Welch in the number 43 machine. Halfway mount, and it's still Bob Gilpatrick going away in the 06. Jason Welch in the number 43 machine. And now coming around for his checkered flag, the winner of the consolation event in the modified sportsman coupe. Ladies and gentlemen, look here for Bob Gilpatrick in the 06. Bob is sending this late model. Number 1, Bill Moses, the defending New Hampshire dirt track champion. John Moses in the number 75 of Beautiful Automobile. Bob Richardson in the 21. Royal Moses in the 57. Dan Dubille, our last week's feature winner, in the number 7. And in the number 97, that is Mike Hamilton. This is your big semi-feature event of the evening. This is the second race day of the 1990 season. Wayne Jack first leading, and they're out of that first turn. With a 25, Raymond Heath. In the number 14, Jack Cook. Jack moves in the second, taking number 1. And we've got Raymond Heath, Bill Moses, and John Moses all coming out of that. And Bill Moses takes over the third spot. Doug goes wide, and Jack Cook takes over the lead in the number 1. Moving up in the second is Bill Moses in the 5th. Raymond Heath in 4th. 5th is Doug Murphy still holding the eyes on the outside. Royal Moses in the 57th. Dan Dubille in the number 7. And Bob number 21. And Mike Hamilton goes to the infield in the 97 machine. With that very narrow lead in the number 1. Bill Moses gone wide, and John Moses 75 goes under Bill, and John takes number 7. Bill Moses is 3rd, Raymond Heath is 4th. Well, here comes Royal Moses up in the 57, and Royal takes over 4th. Raymond Heath in the 14, Dan Dubille in the number 7, in the 21. Halfway back. And coming into the third turn, and it's still Jack Cook in that number 1. John Moses in the 75, Bill Moses in the 50. Roman Moses in the 57, Dan Goodell now in fifth with a 7. Roman Heath in the 14. And now ladies and gentlemen, in the 21. And the caution and Ruth Ann Pelkett. And this announcement is from your sister. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, right here at the Norway Pines, we may be sold out by now, but when I came in, we did have some of these magazines with us. I believe that's $3. And they're a beautiful racing magazine. That is trackside. Eight laps completed, and that certainly looks like bad news. Let's hear it for Bob Richardson, ladies and gentlemen, in car number 21. Moses in the 75, Bill Moses in the 15, Royal Moses in the 57. Anytime, ladies and gentlemen, after one lap is completed, it is the black man's discretion. And this will be restarted Indian file with 8 laps completed. And now one person goes in out of that fourth turn and Moses in the 75, Bill Moses in the 15, but Royal Moses looking for that inside move on Bill with his 57. And Royal takes over third in the 57, Dan Goodell takes over fourth, Raymond Heath takes over fifth in the 14, and sixth is Bill Moses. Into that third turn, and still holding on to their lead is Jack Cook in the number 1. Jack Cook, Raymond Heath, and Bill Moses. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is for the second play. Cook, John Moses. And we only had one restart. And this driver comes from Edinburgh, New Hampshire, the 1989 track champion. Let's learn from Jack Cook in car number 1. His youngest boy also races, Jared. And a brand new automobile, I believe he's got number, no, that's number 33. That is Mike Sousa. They get the green and they're on the way. Into that first turn. And with the lead is, that is Jimmy Boyle in the car number 16. And in that second turn, and it's still Jim Boyle in the 16, Kathy Bell in the number 20 machine. In the number 39, that is Roland Parrott. Roland comes all the way from Montreal, New Hampshire. And in fourth place, in car number 13, that is Julie Rollins in 13. Al Ham goes to the outside in the 64. And Mike Sousa. Mike's trying to get underway, I guess, before the caution is dropped. Here is that back six. And it's still Jim Boyle in the 16. Kathy Cass Second in the number 20 at the halfway mark is still Jim Boyle, Kathy Ferris. Roland Ferris in the number 39 machine. Howell goes to the outside in the 64. And in the number 13 is Julie Rollins. And Mike Stevens is ahead of all the other again. Into that back stretch, and it's still Jimmy Boyle in the number 16. Kathy Cass in the number 20. Roland Parrott in the 33. I'm still working out outside blue in his number 54 machine. Coming up on the inside in the number 13 car. That is Julie Rollins in the number 13 and Mike Cooper in the 33. That's the white flag for Jimmy Boyle in the number 16. Jimmy Boyle, and this is for the second flag. And it's Jimmy Boyle. Jimmy Boyle in car number 13. Second was Kathy Cass. And in the number 69, we do have the green flag and they're underway. Out of that first turn, that is Corey Avery taking over a quick lead in the 01. In the 25 is David Heath, and moving up in the 25, still hurrying off, Corey Avery in the 01. And Bill Smith, Russell Smith, brand new number 17 automobile. Mark Wiggett in the number 7, and now Gene Smith goes to the outside in 18. Moving up is Jared Ham in the 69. Out of that second turn, that is Corey Avery at the 01. David Heath still holding second. No, taking over second now is Russell Smith in the 17. David Heath is third in the 25. Number in the number 7. Gene Smith looking for a way around with that number 18 automobile. Jared Ham working the outside in 69. Into that first turn, and it's still Corey Avery, number 1, moving up is Russell Smith in the 17. David Heath in the number 25 machine, and taking, well, we've got a neck and neck door-to-door race going here for 4th place. So coming out of the 4th turn, and it's Gene Smith in the 18. Jared Ham in the 69. Mark Wiggett in the number 7. There's your white flag. There's just one lap to go. And it's Russell Smith and Corey Avery. Russell Smith and Corey Avery going down the back stretch. And now Russell takes over the lead in the 17. Here's your checkered flag. And it's Russell Smith, Corey Avery, the number 25 of David Heath. Gene Smith in the 18. And now, ladies and gentlemen, winning the second qualifying, let's hear it for Russell Smith in car number 17. I see we're ready to get underway with the first big picture event of the evening. The Roy's Auto Service Trophy Race, and Roy has put up 9 beautiful trophies for all 3 classes tonight. There goes the lead, and we're on the way with our signal business, taking over the 16. With the 16. Mike Murphy in the number 25. Working that outside curve, David Turnbull in the 96. There's Raymond Heath, David Turnbull, Ralph Murphy. Raymond Heath working the outside, coming up on the inside is John Luke in the number 18, and the caution flag is down. again, taking over a quick lead is Raymond Heath in the 16. Gus Murphy in second with the 25. Raymond Heath Jr. moving up in the 14. And Dave Campbell, Jack Cook in the number 1, John Lynch in the 18, Bill Moses in the 15, Dan Doodle in the 1, Eddie Puffinberger in the 47, Royal Moses in the 57, John Moses in the 75, and the caution flag is down, the caution flag is down. Into the third turn, and is Raymond Heath in the 14, moving up in the second. There's Dan Dugan in the 7th, There's the 96, Jack Cook goes to the outside with the number 1. Royal Moses in the 57, Eddie Puffinberger in the 47. John Moses in the 75, John Grego now goes to the outside with 15. Bruce Paulson in the 01. Out of that second turn, it is still Raymond Heath Jr. showing the way in the 14. Dan Newell in the number 7. John Lynch in the 18. And holding on the third, Dave Campbell in the 96. Royal Moses in the 57. And Jack Cook still working that outside third in that number 1 machine. Out of that second turn, and now John Lynch is taking the 34. And it's still Raymond Heath in the 14. Well, in second is Dan Dugal in the number 7. John Lynch in the 18. David Campbell is going fourth with the 96. Royal Moses in the 57. Jack Cook in the number 1. Eddie Puffinberger in the 47. John Moses in the 75, Rick Paulson in the 01. At the halfway mark. And it's still Raymond Heath in the 14. Dan Newell now goes to the outside in the number 7, and Dan takes over the lead and going into the 4th turn, and it's Dan Newell. Raymond Heath, John Lynch in the 18. David Campbell in the 96. Royal Moses in the 57. John Cook in the number 1. Eddie Puffinberger in the 47. Into that top 6. And it's still Dan Newell. Goes going away in the number 7. Raymond Heath in the 14. John Lynch in the 18. David Campbell in the 96. Royal Moses in the 57. And now going to the outside again is Jack Cook in the number 1. Eddie Puffinberger in the 47. John Lynch in the 75. And Rick Paulson in the 01. Third, and it's still Dan Newell going away with the number 7. Raymond Heath in the 14. John Lynch in the number 18. David Campbell in the 96. But moving up all the time is Jack Cook in the number 1. And Jack still working out outside third, but David took the door. Royal Moses is on the infield with the 57, along with Raymond Heath. Into the 3rd turn and starting to lap out of under over Dan Newell and number 7. There's 1 lap to go. out of the fourth turn. In as many weeks, we're here for Dan Duval in the number 7. Will be presented by Roy H. in third place, ladies and gentlemen. As we usually start, we've been waiting a little bit for Norman to get down there with his, oh, there he is. And the third place winner, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Raymond H. Jr. from Warren, New Hampshire. In second place, ladies and gentlemen, from Hill, New Hampshire, right on your phone number 18, John Wood. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for his second feature in 2 weeks, let's hear it for Dan Duval. And a brand new automobile, Timmy and Jerry spent all winter building the brand new 66 car, and Timmy went right out and won his first qualifying with it. That is Timmy Churchill in the 66 automobile. And Edward Hammond, beautiful number 97. And Beanie O'Hare in the 91. Hot Kendall in the 53. Franny Como, our last week's feature winner, in the 89. And Franny said if number 7 can do that, if Dan can do that, I believe I can too, so. And that is Bob Thompson. That's a brand new automobile in this class. Bob drove in the Drift Stalkers last year. That's his brand new number 78. Bob comes to us from down here at, I believe it's Rumney. Bob told us last year he's going to build a car this winter and go into the... and Wayne gives him the green. We're underway in the first turn. Patrick in the 06 taking over a lead. Johnny Sharp working the outside in that number 25, and now probably he drops down. He's in second place. Out of that second turn, and it's still Bob Patrick in the 06. Johnny Sharp going to the outside in the number 25. And the caution flag is down. The caution flag is down. Right here. And he also has 3 coupe automobiles and a sedan body. And believe me, Blakey will certainly use your rights as a real fine gentleman. Blakey started the 50-50 point fund here at the Norway Pines Speedway for the drivers. And we've kept on with it, and it's really been appreciated. And now watch Wayne. 1 lap completed in this feature event. And it's Dick Gilpatrick sitting right on that pole position. Outside pole is Donnie Sharp. Going into that back stretch, and it's still Chris Cooper in the number 90 showing the way. Moving up into second is Ed Provincial in the 47, Jimmy Churchill in the 56, Ray Johnson in the 19, Walt Hammond in the 97. And now coming up hard is the Rebel himself, Hot Kendall in the brand new 53. Chris Cooper joined the way with Brady. Ed Provincial looking for that way around in the 47. Jimmy Churchill working that outside groove in the 66. Yes, Kendall in the 53. Ray Johnson in the 19. Hammond. In the 97, Ray Johnson in the 19. In the 56, Ed Provincial in the 47, Ward Herman in the 97, Ray Johnson in the 19. Going out of your second turn, and it's still pretty circles. Going away in the 66, Ed Provincial in the 47, Ward Herman in the 97, Ray Johnson in the 19. Johnson in the 78, and now quickly representative infield with the number 90, coming out of that fourth third, and he's giving Churchill in the 66, that's Melinda, Bill Holden second in the 47, Walt Herman in the 97, Ray Johnson in the 19, and it's still Jimmy Churchill's race in the 66. Red Flamingo second in the 47. Walt Herman in the 97. And moving up is Ray Johnson in the number 19. Bob Thompson in the 78. First third, and there's still Jimmy Churchill with a next three in the 66. Ed Provincial in the 47. Still hanging on the third is Walt Hammond in the 97. Ray Johnson, 3 laps to go. And into the advance, and starting the lap more of the field is Jimmy Churchill in the 66. Ed Provincial in the 47. There's your one side, ladies and gentlemen, this will be for the second. This is your second flag coming up. And it's Jimmy Churchill in 66, Ed Provincial in 47, Walter Hammond in 97, and ladies and gentlemen, taking us over to the second week in a row, taking third in car number 97 is Jack Evans. It's Provincial. The first in 66, return for Jimmy Churchill. Roger here as usual every Saturday night. Number 16, in the number 25 is David Heath. In car number 13 is Julie Rollins. Corey Avery in the 01, and Corey is really getting the feel of that 01 machine. In the number 20 machine, that is Kathy Kaz. In the number 7,
Mark Wiggett.
That is Mark Wiggett. Mark's doing the driving this year. His dad drove it last year. And of course, outside of Mark is Arnold Ham. Arnold's number 64, the number 18 of Gene Smith, and the number 69, that is Jared Ham. That is Arnold's youngest son. Mike Sousa in the number 33, and bringing up shotgun in the number 16 automobile, that is Glenn Smith. So we have two 16 automobiles out there. They're both beautiful automobiles. I think they call Jim Boyle's 16X, but I can't see any X over here. A feature of it, the second feature where these drivers get points. Now watch Wayne for that green flag. He can start him now at any time, and he gives us that green. And into the first turn, and it's Jim Boyle in the number 16 automobile. Jim takes over the lead. In second is Julie Rollins in the 13 car, followed by Kathy Kraft in number 20. In the 39 machine, that is Roland Parent, going to the outside. In the 25 car, that's David Heath. In the first turn, and it's still Jim Boyle in the number 16. Jerry Rollins second in the 13. Kathy Kraft moves to the inside in the 20, but Julie shuts the door. Kathy goes a little slowly, but she gets it under control. And here comes Gene Smith in the number 18. He's rushing that outside through. And Kathy works Gene to the outside, and Kathy really putting on a fine race here. And Jim Boyle, post number 16, spin out, and we've got a demolition derby going right here in front of the stand. Both 16s. And I believe that's David Heath in the 4th position. Jared Ham in the number 69, Corey Avery in the 01. Mark Wiggett in the number 7, Arnold Ham in the 64. And that is followed by the 16 of Glenn Smith. And of course in shotgun position, and there's still Julie Wallace in the 13, Gene Smith in the 18, Kathy Cass in the number 20. In the 69 is Jared Ham. In the 25 is David Heath. And now Gene Smith takes over the lead in the number 18. Julie Rollins is second. In the 13, Kathy Cass. Third in the number 20 at the halfway mark. Jared Ham goes to the outside in 69, but he ducks back in. Out of that 4th turn, and there's Gene Smith in the 18. Julie Rollins in the 13. Kathy Cass in the number 20. Jared Ham in the number 69. And Jared goes a little wide, and coming under is David Heath in the number 25. Mark Wiggett in the number 7. Corey Avery in the 01. Howard Ham in the 64. Hit a spin out on the second turn. The caution flag is down. The caution flag is down. In the first turn. And it's Gene Smith in the number 18. They're holding on to that second place is Julie Rollins in the number 13. But right on that back number is Kathy Cass in the number 20 machine. Jared Ham goes to the inside of Kathy with the 69, but they're doing a door bumper to bumper. And Jared takes Kathy out to the fence. And that wasn't very sportsman for a man to run the woman into the fence. Hey, that was whoops. Well, that was kind of a do-si-do. 8 laps completed, ladies and gentlemen, and there's the green flag. They're out of that 4th turn, and it's Gene Smith in the 18. Chloe Rollins in the 13. Kathy Cass in the number 20. Corey Avery in 4th now with the 01. Arnold Ham in the 64. Edgar White third with just 1 lap to go, and it's Gene Smith in the 18. Julie Rollins in the 13. Kathy Cass in the number 20. And this is for the checkered flag. And it's Gene Smith in 18.
United Jesus, and we're all but certain now that it will be the week.
IPC Classic. And we've been running the IPC Classic for an awful lot of years here at the Norway Pines Speedway, and it's one of the real big races of the year. And this is through the help of Irene Nestruck down at the IPC plant. And Irene puts a lot of time and a lot of effort into this 4th of July Classic. On July 7th, we have that down as an open date, but we do have a sponsor. I just don't have the name. And on July 14th, as usual, will be the big mid-season track championship. And as usual, that is sponsored by Bob Packard and the Lebanon Crushed Stone. And ladies and gentlemen, you will notice on the lower flagpole the two battle flags. In the Modified Sportsman Coupe Division, that is Dan Duville's number 7 battle flag. Lord in outside pole. John Buffett in the 34 is in the 3rd place slot. Raymond Heath, and Raymond won a feature race last week in the number 16. Steve Corbell in his brand new 56. Eddie Puffenberger in the 47. And in shotgun position in car number 76, Dave Bennett, and Dave comes to us from Meredith, New Hampshire. This is your first qualifying event, and those 9 beautiful trophies down on the in front of the fence, those were donated by Arnold's Auto Service up in Lincoln, New Hampshire, and they are the first Richard Goodfood Jr.'s Memorial Trophies. Well, if we'd had time tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we'd have dropped a few trout in that lake out there, so they next week you'd come early and done a little fishing, but we just didn't get to it, so I guess it's maybe a fish bowl's home. This is your first qualifying event in the Modified Sportsman Coupe Division. Well, I guess about all the drivers this year has their battle flags. And tonight the Dan Dubell number 7 battle flag and Franny Cobo's 89 is flying. Now once that lead car passes that American flag, Wayne can drop that green at any time. New Hampshire. In 4th place, the 56 of Steve Corbell. The number 76 of Dave Bennett. And Eddie Puffenberger in the 47. Now watch Wayne, he can drop that green at any time. This is your first qualifying event. Wayne drops that green and we come out of that 4th turn. Bobby Weber and John Buckland. Bobby Weber and John Buckland. John working the outside. And now John takes over the lead in the 34. Bobby Weber is second. Steve Corbell working the outside groove, and Steve goes into 3rd place in the 56. Into that 3rd turn, and it's still John Buckland in the 34, and now Bobby Weber goes to the outside in the 23. And it's still John Buckland. Bobby Weber moving back into 3rd is Raymond Heath in the 16, Steve Corbell in the 56, Eddie Puffenberger in the 47. And still showing the way, going into the backstretch, and it's John Buckland, 34. Bobby Weber's 23. Raymond Heath in the 63rd. Steve Corbell flying that inside groove, but Raymond just the door with a 16. In the 3rd turn, and it's still John Buckland in the 34. Bobby Weber's at 23 at the halfway mark. And it's still John Buckland, Bobby Weber, Raymond Heath, Eddie Puffenberger, Steve Corbell. In the 4th turn, and it's still John Buckland, Bobby Weber goes to the inside, but John shuts the door. Coming into that 4th turn, and it's still John Buckland, Bobby Weber. Puffenberger, Steve Corbell, and Dave Bennett in the 76. to the inside with a 16, but Bobby shuts the door. There's your white flag. 1 lap to go. John Buckland in the 34. Bobby Webber in the 23. Raymond Heath in the 15. Eddie Puffenberger. Steve Corbell tries the outside road, but he loses a little bit of ground. Here they come for the checkered flag. And John Buckland, Bobby Webber. And winning the first qualifying event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, from Alexandria, New Hampshire. And coming around for his checkered flag, let's hear it for John Buckland in car number 34.
47 was third.
Yeah, 60, then 47, then 56, 76. I'm right down for you?
Yeah.
And now bringing back the checkered flag, the first checkered flag one of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for John Buckland in car number 34. And in pole position is Jim Fadden in the number 2. Outside pole, the beautiful new Toya of Rick Stewart. Rick comes to us from Plymouth, the beautiful 99. With a brand new paint job, Andy Carlson in the 22. Royal Moses in the 57. Bob Richardson in the 21. John Moses in the 75. And in a beautiful 61 machine is John Scarborough, and John comes to us from Brandon, Vermont. This is your second qualifying event of the evening. Man, he can drop the green at any time. This is your second qualifying event. Wade drops that green and now into the stretch. And it's Rick Stewart in the 99. Out of that second turn, and it's Rick Stewart, Royal Moses, Jim Fadden, Andy Carson, John Moses was in the outside room with a 75. Bob Richardson, John Scarborough with going to your third turn, and it's still Rick Stewart 99. Royal Moses in the 57. John Fadden in the number 2, and John Moses, John Washington outside room in that number 75. Bob Richardson in the 21, and John still working that outside move, and now John takes over third in the 75. And your first turn, and it's going away in that number 99. The caution flag is down, John Scarborough is having problems with the 61, and there goes the R&W towing service right onto the track to the rescue. In the 57, Rick Stewart in the 99, John Moses in the 75, Jim Fadden in the number 2, Andy Carlson in the 22. In the the second turn, and it's Royal Moses, number 57, and Royally. As a numbly, here comes Rick Stewart, brand new number 99 of the halfway mark is Royal Moses, Rick Stewart, John Moses, Jim Cash in the number 2, Bob Richardson in the 21, and Andy Carlson in the number 22. The first turn with a 19 Royal Moses in the 57, Rick Stewart in the 99, and now John Moses tries the outside in the 75, but he drops back behind Rick. Coming into your third turn, and it's still Royal Moses, number 57, Rick Stewart in the 99, John Moses in the 75. That was your 2 laps. Coming out of your fourth turn now, and you'll be getting your white flag with 1 more lap. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be for the checkered flag. And Royal Moses in the 57th flag, winner of the second qualifying event. Let's hear it for Royal Moses in car number 57. In second place was Rick Stewart in car number 99. Third was John Moses in car number 75. Fourth was Jim Fett in car number 2. Bob Richardson in car number 21, and now bringing back the checkered flag. Once again, let's hear it for Royal Moses in car number 57. Certainly come to race. And it's good to have Jack Cook back with us. Jack last night over in Canaan threw the transmission in the number 1. Jack is running V6 power with an automatic transmission, and he probably didn't get home to one. This is your third qualifying event in the Modified Sportsman Coupe Division. We certainly hope there's nothing drastically wrong with Andy Carlson. We hope it's just a hose connection. Becky and Cindy, Richie Goodbone's sisters, will be presenting the trophies, and they will be riding the pace car with Roger Bedard. And those are your 6 beautiful trophies just outside the fence. The first Richard Goodbone Memorial Trophy Race. And now Wayne can drop that green flag at any time and pass that American flag. Drop that green and they're out of that fourth turn. We'll see in the number 25. Out of that fourth turn, and it's still got brothers. Women up in the front. And driving in the number 1, still holding on the 30. There's a Samuel in the 96. Raymond Heath still in 4th with the number 14, moving up nice. In the number 7. In the third turn, and it's still Gus Murphy joining the wing in the 25. Jack Cook, number 1, and nice outside into that first turn. And it's still Gus Murphy in the 25. Jack still watching that outside field, and now Jack takes over first with the number 1. Gus Murphy in the 35. David Campbell in the 96. Raymond Heath in the 14. And playing that inside groove is Dan Duval in the number 7, but Ray shut the door. That's the number 5 with Jack Cook, Gus Murphy, David Campbell, Raymond Heath, and coming around now, ladies and gentlemen, for the second flag. And Gus Murphy in the 25. David Samuel. Raymond Heath in the 14. John Lick and Dan Duval. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming around for another checkered flag. Driving the number 1 automobile, let's hear it for Jack Cook in car number 1. Well, Jack was, I believe he was in first or second place here, and then we ran 2 weeks of racing last week, and Jack had to go to his daughter's graduation. It was either that or if you go to the races, take your clothes. So that put Jack 2 weeks behind, but he is certainly back into the groove. He blew the transmission last night in Canaan. Today they put in a new transmission, and he's right here at the Norway Pines Speedway. And now bringing back the checkered flag. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Jack Cook in car number 1. Jack comes to us all the weekend. And the first qualifying event will be Larry Wells in car number 43. Larry is sitting on pole position. Outside pole is Artie Heath in car number 18. No, that is Jason on pole. That is Jason Wells. His father Larry is in third position in the 33. Ray Moses in the 13. Ed Provincial in the number 37 automobile. And fearless Phil McEwen in car number 35 is in the shotgun position. This is your first qualifying event in this late model division. And we've got a father-son out there, Jason on the pole, and in third place is Father Larry. And these boys come to us all the way from Lancaster, New Hampshire. Well, that track is certainly getting to a fine racing service. Now watch Wayne. He can drop that green at any time. And Wayne drops that green. He is taking over a quick lead in the 18. Ray Moses goes to the outside in the 13. Larry Welch in the 33. Ed Provincial in the 37. And Ray goes wide, and Artie hangs on to the lead. And that is the first turn. Ray takes over the lead now in car number 13. Artie Heath in 18, Larry Welch in the 33, Ed Provincial in the 37, Bill McEwen in the 35. And it's still Ray Moses in the number 13 machine, Artie Heath in the number 18, Larry Welch in the 33. Ed Provincial in the 37. And now taking over second place is Larry Welch in the 33. Ed Provincial also working that outside lead, and now Ed switched in the third place. And it's Ray Moulton, Larry Welch, Ed Provincial, Lonnie Heath, Bill McEwen, and Jason Welch in the 43 machine. At the halfway mark, and it's Ray Moulton in the 13. Larry Welch in the 33, Ed Provincial in the 37, Harry Heath in the 18, Bill McEwen in the 35, and Jason Welch in the 43. And we have got six, and it's Ray Moulton in the number 13, Larry Welch in the 33, Ed Provincial in the 37, Harry Heath in the 18. And now Ray Moulton has left Jason Welch. And it's Ray Moulton, Larry Welch, Ed Provincial, Harry Heath, Bill McEwen. And the caution flag is down, Jason Welch is going into the third turn, and he's up onto the bank with the 43 automobile. And there goes the R&W towing service and the rescue. Get Jason back onto the track. In the 18, Bill McEwen in the 35, and Jason Welch in the 43. And coming around to second flag, let's hear for Ray Moses in car number 13. Hey, Leanne, 37 was second. In second place was Ed Provincial in the number 37 car, Larry Welch in the 33, Harry Heath in the 18, Bill McEwen in the 35, and Jason Welch in the 43. And now bringing back the checkered flag, let's hear for Ray Moses in car number 13. And right onto the track, ladies, in car on is Bob Thompson's brand new number 78. Bob changed to the late model sportsman division. And a brand new 07 car. That's certainly a beautiful automobile. And that gentleman comes to us all the way from Barrie, Vermont. That is Randy Sweet, 07. Donnie Sharp in the 25, Beanie O'Hare in the 91, in the 97 is Walt Hammond, and the 22 of Scott Lang. Anniversary. This is your second qualifying event in the late model sportsman division. And on pole position is Bob Thompson, brand new 78. Randy Sweet, outside pole in the 07. Donnie Scott in the 25. Beanie O'Hare in the 91. Walt Hammond in the 97. Now watch Wayne. Wayne drops that green and they're into the stretch. And it's Bob Thompson. 78. He'll join the lead. Randy Sweet in the 07. Beanie O'Hare in the 91. Donnie Scott goes to the outside in the 25. No, that is Walt Hammond. 97. wide building now. And Thompson in the brand new 78, still holding on to second. The Brandy 3 in the 07. Old Hammond in the 97. Steve O'Hare in the 91. John Scott in the 29. Number 22. And now Walt Hammond goes to the outside and looks over second in the 97. Steve O'Hare also works the outside and looks up in the third. And Thompson, Walt Hammond, Beanie O'Hare, Randy 3 in the 07. At the halfway mark, and it's Bob Thompson, Walt Hammond, Beanie O'Hare, Randy 3 in the 07. Johnny Sharp in the number 25. Second, third, and it's still Bob Thompson, 78. Still holding on the second, and it's Walt Hammond. Bob's trying to blow a lot of smoke out of that 78 machine. Bob has lost the rear tire. The caution flag is down, the caution flag is down. Bob Thompson lost the rear tire going into the second turn. Scott Lang and now the Whitworth Fire Department right over the rescue, checking out the number 22 of Scott Lang. Beanie O'Hare in the 91, Randy Sweet in the 07, Johnny Sharp in the number 25 machine. Showing the way in that red hot number 97. Beanie O'Hare in the number 91 machine. The 07 of Randy Queen. Third last to go for Walt Hammond in the 97. And Beanie having trouble with the 91. Taking over second now is Randy Queen in the 07. Johnny Sharp in the number 25. In the 97 and Beanie Track 91. Coming out of your fourth third for your second flag. And it's 97. Randy 27 and coming around now for his second flag. Let's hear it for Walt Hammond in car number 97. Second was Randy Sweet in the 07. Third was Johnny Sharp in the 25. That's Travis. And now bringing back the second flag. Let's hear it for Walt Hammond in car number 97. Flying event with Chris Goodbow on pole with the number 90. The old rebel from Campton, New Hampshire. Aunt Kendall in the 53. Ray Johnson in the number 19. And Randy Como in the 89, Ted Bernasconi in the number 10 machine. That's Todd Bernasconi from Campton, New Hampshire. This is your third qualifying event in the late model sportsman division. This is your third qualifying event with Chris Goodbull on pole position in the number 90 machine. Watch Wade, he can drop the green at any time. At Kendall in the 53, there's the green flag. Como, Chris Goodbull, Ray Johnson. And here comes Todd McCody up the inside, and Todd takes over third in the number 10 machine as Todd McCody in the third. And Yvonne Kendall in the 53. Here comes Franny Como. Franny would like that inside through, but Todd shut the door in the 53. Todd is running in the number 10, Ray Johnson in the 19. With Goodbull in the number 90. Into that third turn, and it's still on Kendall in the 53. Randy Como and Lisa Carter and Tony in the number 10. The caution flag is down, the caution flag is down. This is your third qualifying event with 3 laps completed. Completed, and is on Kendall in the 53, Ray Johnson in the number 19. Ladies and gentlemen, and it's on Kendall, Franny Como, Ray Johnson, and Chris Goodbull. There's your green flag. And it's on Kendall in the 53, Franny Como in the 89, Ray Johnson in the 19, Chris Goodbull in the number 90. Still on Kendall in the 53. In second is Franny Como, Ray Johnson, and Chris Goodbull. At the halfway mark, Como goes to the inside, and they're out of that second turn, bumper, door to door, into that third turn. And taking over your lead now is Franny Como in the Ray Johnson in the 19, Kendall in the 53, Chris Goodbull in the number 90. Into that first turn, and Franny Como, Ray Johnson in the 19, on Kendall, and Chris Goodbull in the number 90. Back stretch. And it's still Franny Como, Georgia way in 89, Ray Johnson in second. There's your white flag for Franny in 89. Ray Johnson in the 53, and Chris Goodbull in the number 90. Coming along now for the second flag in the third qualifying. 63, and Chris Goodall in the number 90. And now coming around for his checkered flag, the winner of the third qualifying event, the Jericho Franny Como in car number 89. This is your consolation event in the late model sportsman division. This is the last chance to get in. That is David Sandville in 97, Steve Corbell in the 56, Bob Richardson in the number 21, John Lynch in the 18, Dan Dubell in the number 7. Dan is our last week's feature winner. And in the beautiful coupe, number 76, that is Dave Bennett from down in Meredith, New Hampshire. Andy Carlson is back in the Conti, is number 22, I believe. Andy blew a radiator hose. Consolation event in the late model sportsman division. Wayne drops that green and they come out of that fourth turn. And Hamilton 97 into that back pit, and Mike Hamilton going to the outside. Now coming to the inside is Bob Richardson, and Bob takes over first in the 21. Dan Dubell is number 7 in third is Mike Hamilton in the 97, Steve Corbell in the 56, and the caution flag is dropped. John Lynch goes into the wall just before the grandstand, and I believe John is going to be able to well, I don't know if the new genius is going to steer or not. Usually that wall at least makes a tie rod in. Oh, I guess John's all right with the number 18. Don't forget the delicious Woodbury potato chips we have right here in the snack bar. They're made right down here in New Hampton, New Hampshire. They're all natural, there's no cholesterol, and they certainly are delicious. One lap completed, ladies and gentlemen. And now Ward Wayne, he can drop that green on him at any time. And taking over your lead is Dan Dubell in the number 7, Bob Richardson in the 21, Steve Corbell in the 56. Third turn, and with a nice lead now is Dan Dubell in the number 7, Bob Richardson in the 21. Mike Hamilton spins around and goes place to go, but Bob Richardson in the 21. Steve Corbell in the 56. And there's your green flag, and we're underway. Corbell in the number 7, Bob Richardson in the 21. Coming up the shot is Mike Hamilton, the third turn, and it's number 7. Still in second is Bob Richardson, 21. Andy Townsend in the 22, Dave Bennett in the 76. Number 7, Bob Richardson in the number 21, Carlson in the 22, Dave Bennett in the 76, Mike Hamilton in the 97, and your white flag for Dan Newell in the number 7, Bob Richardson in the 71. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for the second flag. And it's Dan Newell in the number 7. Bob Richardson in the 21. Andy Townsend in the 22. Dave Bennett in the 76. Mike Hamilton in the 97. John Lynch in the number 18. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming around for another checkered flag, and this gentleman has won 3 features in 1990. Let's hear it for Dan Newell in car number 7. Bob Richardson in car number 21. Andy Townsend in the 22. Dave Bennett in the 76. Mike Hamilton in the 97, and John Lynch in car number 18. And now, ladies and gentlemen, bringing back the checkered flag to Wayne Week, the winner of the consolation event. Let's hear it for Dan Newell in the number 7 automobile, and right onto the track, the consolation event for the late model sportsman division. This is your consolation event in the late model division. What's waiting for that green flag coming into that 4th turn? This is your consolation event. There's your 3. And bumper to bumper, door to door, but working that outside room and taking over first is Bob Thompson in the 78, Jason Wells in the 43, Bill McKean in the 35. Into that back stretch, and it's still Bob Thompson in the 78. Bob lost the wheel in the qualifying event, but he's right back in the cockpit. And Bob goes right into the wall, and caution flag is down. And we get out. Well, that certainly did a job on Bob's 78 machine. Bob comes out of the fourth turn and right into the wall with the brand new 78. And believe me, those are 6x6 timbers. And some of these cars certainly do a job on them. As you can see, one of them is already loose down there. And two laps completed, ladies and gentlemen. And we're certainly going to do some pin knocking this week on some of these automobiles. Two laps completed. Now watch Wayne. Once that lead car, Jason Welch, crosses that American flag, Wayne can turn them loose at any time. And it's Jason Welch, Bill McEwen in the 35, and Bob Thompson in the 78. Wayne drops that tree. And Jason's into that Bill McEwen in the 35, Bob Thompson in the 78. And it's winner the third turn. And it's still Jason Welch in the 43, Bill McEwen in the 35, Bill goes wide, and Bill hits the ball with the 35, but seems to be no damage. And Bob Thompson takes over second in the 78. Out of that fourth turn, that is Jason Welch in the 43. And now Bob Thompson takes over the lead in the 78. Bill McEwen in the 35. Jason Welch in the 43. Now that fourth turn, one lap to go for Bob Thompson in the 78. Bill McEwen in the 35. Jason Welch in the 43. And this, ladies and gentlemen, will be for the checkered flag out of that fourth turn. And Bob Thompson, 78. Bill McEwen in probation event in the Great Model Sportsman Division. Let's hear it for Bob Thompson in car number 78. And now bringing back the checkered flag, the winner of the consolation event. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Bob Thompson in the 78 machine. And beside Jack Cook, that is David Sandville in the 96. Raymond He's our last, Raymond won the first feature event last week. That was the rained out feature. That is Raymond He's from Warren. In the 57. Of course, that is Royal Moses. John Moses in the number 75 machine. And of course, the pace car, as usual tonight, will be through the courtesy of Roger Bedard from Bristol, New Hampshire, of Roger Bedard and Son. And Becky and Cindy will be riding in the pace car. They will be presenting the trophies in the first Richard Goodfoods Jr. Memorial Trophy Race. This is the big semi-feature event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, in the Modified Sportsman Coupe Division.
All those French fries.
Buckland. Working the outside is Rick Stewart in the 99. Jack Cook in the number 1 Royal Motors. In the 96, John Moses in the 75. Raymond Hayes in the 16 and Doug Murphy in the 25. And Doug moves up on Rick. And still Bobby Weber joins the way in the 23. John Buckland in the 34. And here comes Jack Cook with that number 1. Royal Moses in the 57. And now Royal takes over third in the 57. Jack Cook is the number 1. David Campbell in the 96. John Moses in the 75. And now that's third turn. And it's still Bobby Weber's number 23. John Buckland in the 34 is second. Third is Royal Moses in the 57. Jack Cook in the number 1. David Campbell in the 96. John Moses in the 75. Raymond Hayes in the 16. And now it's John Buckland taking over the lead in the 34. Moving up on the inside of Bobby is Royal Moses in the 57. And it's John Buckland, Royal Moses, Bobby Weber. Jack Cook is the number 1. David Campbell and now here comes Jack Cook on the inside of Bobby Weber. Jack takes over third with a number 1 with the halfway point. And John Buckland in the 34, Royal Moses in the 57, Jack Cook in the number 1, Bobby Weber in the 23, David Campbell in the 96, John Moses in the 65, and the second turn. And still John Buckland in the 54 going the way. Royal Moses in the 57, Jack Cook in the number 1, Bobby Weber in the 23. Out of that second turn, and John Buckland going the way. Royal Moses in the 57, Jack Cook is the number 1. Bobby Weber at 23, David Campbell in the 96, John Moses in the 75, Doug Murphy in the number 25. Last to go with John Buckland in the 34. And the caution flag is down, the caution flag is down. Bobby Weber goes into the bench in the 23, and Doug Murphy and Rick Stewart, no place to go, and they go into the book. Believe me, there's crews out there that certainly know what they're doing. Now we're picking up Doug Murphy so that they can pull Rick Stewart. And now Rick starts under his own power and gets out from under the 25 of Doug Murphy. Semi-feature event with 12 laps completed, and Wade can drop that green at any time. There is the green flag, and out of that fourth turn, Royal Moses goes to the outside in the 57. Jack Cook comes up on the inside in the number 1, and it's Jack Cook taking over second. Jack Cook with the number 1, Royal Moses in the 57, and Jack Cook goes to the outside, and John Buckley.
Yeah, I thought they were going to qualify the soccer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the winner of the semi-feature event. Let's hear it for John Buckler in car number 34. And John is certainly having a year. Second was Jack Cook in the number 1. Third was, that is Mr. Bobby Weber. Outside pole in a brand new Sawyer automobile from Plymouth, New Hampshire, Raymond Heath. And last week taking the second qualifying. And this gentleman comes to us from Franklin, New Hampshire, and that is Royal Moses. And Royal is followed by the driver of car number 14. That is Raymond Heath Jr. in Warren, New Hampshire. And a driver already taking 3 features in the 90 season. That is Dan Duville in car number 7. And a gentleman coming to us from Hill, New Hampshire, John Buckland in car number 18. And a gentleman just starting with us mid-season last year, and that is John Moses in car number 75. In car number 76, from Meredith, New Hampshire, is Dave Bennett, and in shotgun position with a brand new paint job, Andy Carson in car number 22. And your pace car is Roger Bedard, and I believe in the back seat is Cindy and Jason Goodboom. They will be presenting the first 3 beautiful trophies. And these boys certainly have a view. And now Roger is leaving the racing service to give these drivers a chance to show their stuff. Now watch Wayne. He can drop that green at any time. This is your first feature event. Wayne drops that green and they're out of that 4th turn. Rick Stewart going to the outside in the 91, and Bobby and Rick are going to go. Coming up now on the inside is Jim Felton in the number 2, and Jim takes over the lead in the number 2. Here's Mike Hamilton in the 27, Bobby Weber in the 23, John Buckland in the 34. Rick Stewart still working that outside move in that number 99. Into that first turn, Mike Hamilton in the 97, Bobby Weber in the 23, John Buckland in the 34, Jack Cook passing that in the 21, Bobby Weber. And there's your leader. Mike Hamilton in the 97. And here comes John Buckland for the inside. John takes over third in the 34. Jack Cook on the outside in the number 1. And now taking over second is John Buckland in the 34. Jack Cook in the number 1. Jan Newell in the number 7. And the caution flag is down. The caution flag is down. Bobby Weber is completely around in the second turn. They're underway. John Buckland is the number 34, taking a quick lead. And it's Jim Cobb in the number 2 coming up on the outside. Number 1 on the inside is Dan Newell in number 7. And we've got a pretty wide going on to the back stretch. Dan Newell takes over second now in the number 7. And here comes Bob Richardson up on the inside in the 21. Out of that fourth turn, and it's still John Buckland in the 4. Dan Newell in the number 7, in the number 10. Bob Richardson in the number 21. Royal Moses in the 57. Jack Cook in the number 1. Richardson in the 99. And it's still John Buckland, number 34. Dan Newell in the number 7. Third is Jim Cobb in the number 2. Bob Richardson in the 21. Royal Moses and Mark Grant right the outside of John Buckland, and John shuts the door. The caution flag is down. The caution flag is down. And Mike Hamilton is completely spun around in the fourth turn, and that's certainly a bad place to be. Here comes the R&W, followed by Dan Newell in the number 7, Jim Patton in the number 2, Bob Richardson in the 21, Royal Moses in the 57, Jack Cook in... There you can see Bob Packard on the first and second turn closing these cars up. Bob is the owner of Bob Packard Trucking, and Bob Packard and the 11 and Fresh Stone will be doing the mid-season track championship. Now watch Wade for that green. And out of that fourth turn, Dan Newell in the number 7, holding on to 30, Jim Patton in the number 2, Bob Richardson in the 21, working out on the white flag for John Buckland in the 34.